Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while, but I'm finally back after I feel like a much needed break. You know, when I initially sat down to play, my game kept crashing unfortunately like every few minutes, and when I checked my mods folder, it was just super cluttered and messy. Because I had way too much, I decided to start from scratch and clear everything out and re-download all my mods in CC in an effort to basically create a more minimal, clean mods folder. All that to say, today's video was inspired by what I have going on right now, and I'm going to walk you guys through how to download mods and custom content specifically for Create a Sim. Everything that I'm showing you can generally be applied to, I guess, some build by objects that you would have in your game or furniture, for example. But you know, along the way, I'll also be sharing some of my absolute essentials. So if you already know how to download mods /CC, feel free to skip ahead to my top picks for Create a Sim. This video might be a bit lengthy because I want to explain how Cas, mods, and CC work for the girlies who are new to The Sims. But I also wanted to give some of my fellow Sims veterans some of my top picks that I use to create my Sims. So like I said, feel free to skip around in the video depending on what you're looking for. So mods or custom content are player-made additions that can change or enhance your gameplay, and there are two main types. So there's custom content or CC, and this includes player-made objects like furniture, hair, clothing, and accessories. And then we have game mods, and these mods modify the game itself, adding new features or functionality. For example, think new traits, UI improvements, new interactions, or even cheats. So for example, some popular game mods include like meaningful stories, better build by Twisted Mexi, UI cheats extension. That mod is great as well. Wonderful whims, the tool mod, all of those. The first thing you need to do is find trustworthy sites. Some of the ones I personally use and recommend include Tumblr. Tumblr is really great for finding mods and CC, though you may need to be directed to other sites to download. It's a good like search engine. You can follow your favorite creators, you can save all the CC you want to download later on. And the other site I recommend is Patreon. As I said, you can use Tumblr to find the creators that you like and the CC that you like, and then usually Tumblr will lead you to their Patreon or their CurseForge, which I'll talk about in a minute. But Patreon is great once you find and follow some of your favorite CC creators. So on Patreon, you can download directly from creators, and that's always a good choice. Just make sure that they're legitimate by checking reviews and comments. You know, see how long they've been creating CC. I mean, that's not necessarily always correlated with if they're trustworthy or not, but you know, use your own discretion and be vigilant when you are downloading from different people. And then of course, CurseForge is a really great platform as well. It's a trusted platform, especially since The Sims 4 has partnered with them for mod distribution. When downloading small items like hair, clothing, or furniture, you'll usually get a .package file. But when downloading mods that affect the game's functionality, like giving your Sims new traits or giving them new interactions, you'll get a .ts4 script file. That's really important to keep in mind. You know, just generally to protect yourself when downloading CC and mods. If you're downloading CC, small items, as I mentioned, like hair, clothing, furniture, basically items that don't modify the game itself, typically shouldn't include a .ts4 script file. It's just something to be aware of and look out for, especially if you decide to download from a source you're unsure about. Because there was, you know, a few months ago, an issue going around in the Sims 4 community with mods and malware or viruses in some of these mods that, you know, people were downloading. So it's just something to be aware of. And now I'll walk you through how to download a simple set of CC. So just to show you guys an example of how you would download CC, let's download some clothes for my Sims. So here is one of my favorite creators of all time, Serenity CC. I have a few favorite creators that I will leave listed on my Tumblr. Absolutely love Serenity CC, and this is one of their new sets, the sandalwood set. Absolutely gorgeous, love it, looks great for fall, and I think this just went on public access, so I think everyone would be able to download this. I am on their official Tumblr. If I scroll down, as you can see here, it leads me to Serenity CC's Patreon, which it usually does, so I'll click there to go to their Patreon to download this set. And then from here, I would be able to download these .package files. So I can download each clothing piece separately with these .package files, or I can download all 9 items in a zip file. So I'll show you both. I'll download the zip file, and then you see here that pops up, but I'll download a few of them separately. Just to give you an example, but generally you would want to do one or the other. You don't want to have duplicates of items in your games, but I just want to show you the process of if you were to download them either separately or to download it as a zip file. So once you've downloaded your mod or CC item, it typically comes in a .zip or .rar file. To access the files, you'll need to extract them using a program like WinRAR or 7-zip. And as you can see here, I downloaded some items separately. The Adeline jacket from Serenity's the Sandalwood set. So I have version 1 and 2 of the jacket here. So I have WinRAR. So I would double click the file, the zip file, and then all the separate package files would show up here. So this program is helping me extract all of these little files. Now let's work on installing these. As you can see here, I have my documents folder open. So if you go to like this PC on your computer, if you go to documents, you'll see a couple things here. In terms of installing your mods, you need to place them in your Sims 4 mods folder. So here's the path to get there. You're going to go to documents, as I mentioned. You're going to go to electronic arts, the Sims 4, and mods. And as you can see here, I have quite a few mods already. Like I said, I'm working on organizing these, but generally this is kind of what I have going on. So I created, and I generally create, a folder for all of the creators that I have in my game to help me keep organized. So as you can see here, I already have a folder for Serenity, and I put in brackets Cas, so I know that all the mods or CC that I download from this specific creator is generally Cas CC, so that, you know, if I ever need to delete anything or update anything, I can easily find it and know, you know, where I use the CC mostly in my game. So I'm going to open up the Serenity folder. When you place your mods in your mods folder, if it's a .package file, you can organize it however you like, subfolders or not, and the game will recognize that content wherever it is. As you can see, these are .package files, so I'm going to highlight both of these and drag and drop them into this folder. As you can see, it already has these files in my Serenity Cas folder. Generally, you wouldn't get this message if you're placing those files in a specific folder for the first time, but for example, you can just press replace the files in the destination and that would be fine. Now in terms of the zip file, you can double click to open that up, copy everything in this folder, and then just drag all the highlighted items into whatever folder you'd like. And then you can delete this original zip file here. So as I mentioned, you can place your .package files and organize them however you like. In your mods folder, subfolders or not, the game will recognize the content wherever it is. But if you're installing a .ts4 script file, that's a different thing. To show you guys how to properly install a .ts4 script file, I am on Twisted Mexi's page. I love Twisted Mexi and all the mods that they create, but one of my favorite for Create a Sim is this Cas full edit mode always on. This allows you to fully edit your Sims always, because when you first go to create a Sim, you can edit their body, their facial features, everything. But then when you go and you play with that Sim in your game, then you go back into create a Sim. Usually you cannot edit everything on that Sim, which I find annoying, because then you have to use the Cas full edit mode cheat in the cheats bar. This just removes that extra step so that you can always have full edit mode on to edit your Sims. So I'm going to download this mod directly from the creator. So I'm going to press download. Again, it leads me to their Patreon and gives me the latest update of this mod. And then from here, I can go and find the mod I'm looking for. See Tmax always full edit mode, and it's a TS4 script file. If you're installing a TS4 script file, it's important to make sure it's not buried too deep in subfolders. The correct way would be to go to Documents, as I mentioned before. You can see up here Documents, Electronic Arts, The Sims 4, Mods, and then you can make a folder. You can make a folder called Scripts, and you can put that mod in that folder directly. An incorrect way would be to have another folder within this scripts folder, and place that mod in here. You don't want to do that. You don't want to have it in a folder within a folder, if that makes sense. So this, we would have to move this out and put it back into just the scripts folder. So I'm going to delete that. So as I mentioned, for script files, it can only be one folder deep within the mods folder for the game to be able to recognize it and work well. So that is basically how you're going to place or install the mods /cc you've downloaded by, placing them in your mods folder, as I've shown you guys. However, in order to have these mods or cc items show up in your game, you'll have to activate a setting in your game, which I'll show you guys in a minute. I have another tip for you guys, and it is about this file right here, the local thumb cache file. And this file is important, and it's important because it stores information from the game, and more importantly, it stores information from the mods and cc you download. So basically, if you've deleted a mod from your game and not deleted this file here, bits of information from the mod are still in your game and can continue causing trouble. So for example, if you deleted a broken mod or a mod that's making your game crash and you don't really delete this file here, your game could continue crashing. It could continue causing you problems. So every once in a while, you want to delete this file here. And I personally delete it every time I add new CC or I remove new CC. Generally, I just delete it every time. So basically, whenever you make a change to your mods folder, you should remove it. And generally, this file regenerates anyway, so you don't have to worry about deleting it. It's a safe file to delete, just so you guys know. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this right now. So now that we have downloaded mods and CC, we have installed them, we've placed them in our mods folder, and we have deleted the local thumb cache file, it's time to open up our game to make these mods active. Now we just launch the game, go to game options, other, and make sure that enable custom content and mods, as well as script mods allowed, are both checked, and then we would restart our game. And that's basically how we would download mods and CC. I have a few final tips before you get started with modding. So one thing I would say is to always back up your saves. Always make up a backup of your game saves before adding new mods. Do I really do this? Not really, but I do have like a backup of, some of my important saves that I wouldn't want to lose. So generally you just want to have it back up in case, like, if you lose progress or if something goes wrong. Another thing is to keep your mods updated. Mods can break or become outdated with new game updates, so just make sure to check for updates regularly. Also, with mods, make sure that you read the instructions. Some mods come with like extra steps or dependencies, so always read through the instructions that come with each mod. You know, there might be a certain way the creator wants you to install the mod. So just for instances like that, just always make sure to read the instructions properly when installing mods in CC. And the last thing I will say and reiterate is just to be careful about security. You know, as I mentioned throughout this video, like only download mods from, you know, trusted sources to avoid the risk of malware and viruses. So now I'm in Cas and I'm going to show you guys some of my essentials that I feel like I really can't play without. And you'll see that I have a lot of CC across different categories from the same creator, as I'm trying to condense my mods folder and make it as minimal as I can. It's definitely hard though, because there are so many great CC options out there. But anyways, the first mod that I would like to mention, and that I already mentioned in this video, that is extremely helpful for me, is the Always Full Edit Mode mod by Twisted Maxi. And so when you first create a sim, you can fully edit features such as like the body shape, the skin tone, for example. However, if you're new to the Sims, you'll notice that once you start playing in live mode and go back to edit your Sims, all their features, such as the ones that I mentioned before, are uneditable. So this mod essentially makes it so that you can always fully edit all of your Sims features, which is great and less time consuming than using the cheat. The next essential that I would suggest that you grab is a Cas background. Mine is from Tay, Large Tater Tots, here on YouTube. Absolutely love her, but this is the coastal Cas background. It's really pretty. I love how bright it is, and it just really goes with like my aesthetic right now for my Sims. Now moving on to showcase the rest of my essentials for Cas, I'm using this sim here that I created, Ashlyn, and one of the first things that I do is pick a skin tone for my sim. So I feel like the skin tones we have in the Sims could be better, so this one I like to use is called Bear by Matisse. Absolutely love that they come with different undertones. They come with cool, neutral, warm, and olive undertones. And as an olive undertone girly myself, I found this so helpful when creating my sim self. So essentially you can see all the tones here with the little tool icon so that they are easily identifiable. This will look different in your game depending on if you use, you know, G shade or reshade, but essentially I love the different options that it has, you know, with the different neutral, cool, and warm undertones. Once you pick a skin tone for your sim, you usually want to edit how they look, right? So you can use sliders for that, and Cas already has sliders in the general game itself, but there are a few that I downloaded to really customize my Sims further and that I feel really make a big difference. So some that I will mention, I'm not going to mention all, but some that I will mention, number one is the Esotropia and Exotropia slider by Obscurus Sims. I love that you can change the position of the eyeballs and move them in closer or farther away. I use this one for basically all of the Sims that I create, and I'll show you here. You can bring your Sims eyeballs super close or super far away, but I just love that customization that you can have. It gives you so much more control, so that is one of my essentials that I love to use. And then another essential that I love to use is the height slider by Lumia, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You can make your Sims taller or shorter, but just be aware of the changes it will probably make to the UI below over here, because if you make your Sims a bit too tall, it can kind of cut off their head in the UI, so just something to note. But you would use it by grabbing their neck and sliding either up or down to make them taller or shorter. And to further customize how your Sims appear, there are also presets. So starting with the body, there are so many body presets you can choose from, but I have a few that I like from Miko. As you can see, it just gives your Sims like a default like body shape, which is nice. Once you choose a body shape, you can go and like customize it with sliders if you like. I also have some from Northern Siberia Winds that I like to use. Like, these are really pretty body presets, and then you can, as I mentioned, go in with sliders and edit them the way that you would like. Other than body presets, you also have, you know, head shape, cheekbone, chin, or jaw presets. So I have a couple like, I guess, head or face presets from Northern Siberia Winds, and as you can see as I click through, they just edit the face shape, and I love to use these just as like a starting point to then go in and edit my Sims faces further. but I think this is super helpful. And then in terms of jaw preset, another essential that I love is again by Northern Siberia Winds. As you can see, as I'm clicking through, it just changes the jaw shape for my Sims. Next, you also have eye, nose, lip, and ear presets as well, and even presets for like the eyebrows. And so starting with the eyebrows here, I have a lot from Twisted Cat, which I love. I have a lot from Cosmetic as well. So as you can see here, so yeah, those are the eyebrow presets that I use. In terms of the eyes, I use a lot from Northern Siberia Winds. And while we're on the topic of eyes, another mod that I would like to mention is the Remove EA Lashes mod by Kijiko. And that one's really great. As you can see here, The Sims 4 comes with like these weird, I guess, eyeliner looking eyelashes that comes like default if you don't have this mod in your game. So I would suggest downloading it if you don't like the look of those, I guess, eyeliner-y looking eyelashes. For sure, it's definitely helps to improve the aesthetic. So for example, here's my Sim without any makeup, and as you can see, she doesn't have those weird block eyeliner lashes, which is great and makes my Sim look a bit more real in my opinion. And there are also nose presets. So again, all of my nose presets are from Northern Siberia Winds, but I also have some from Wistful Castle, and those are the two main creators that I have. But these nose presets are just really nice, and I have one from La Matisse as well. But generally you can find a lot of different presets for the face on Tumblr. And then next we have lip presets. Again, a lot of mine are from NSW, and then I have a few others here. I'm not really sure of the name, but I'll leave it linked in the description. And then ear presets. I think ear presets are really good to have so that you can really customize it. For example, I have a lot here from Lumia. I have really small ears, so I think that having different presets to, you know, make it really customizable is a really great option in your game. And you even have ear presets like this, which are pretty cool, like elven ears or fairy ears if you are making like occult Sims. So as you can see here, I have ear presets, just a few from Obscurus Sims and Lumia. Now for the skin details. So this feature of Cas allows you to go even further and edit like the smallest details of your Sim's face. And this feature can be confusing for some people to navigate. So to help with that, a must-have I would recommend is a Cas organizer. And there are quite a few like out there that you can download, but they essentially just organize all the categories in different editing sections. So it helps organize like earrings and piercings, head skin details, like occult cheek scars, body accessories, tattoos, body skin details, body medical wearables, like etc. And so specifically speaking for skin details right now, but this applies for other categories as well, you can't really use two details from the same category at once. So this definitely helps you navigate that. And the Cas organizer I use unfortunately isn't available anymore online. I'm not sure what happened to the creator, but the creator of this Cas organizer that you can see here is Suki. I'll share a link to this creator's Patreon, although they're not active anymore, just in case they come back, hopefully. But this one is really nice. I like the font of it. So as you can see here, it's organizing everything by the category. So everything here is the forehead crease. So you have different options, different things that you can add onto your Sim, nose shaders, skin presets and overlays, or even like, you know, chubby cheeks or even eyelids. So for example, in this one category here, this expands all the way to the end of here. So you can't use two things within this one section. You'll have to add something here and then go to the other section where it says mouth crease and add something from this section, if that makes sense. You can't use two things from the same section. It won't show up on your Sim. Like you won't even be able to click it. For example, I'm clicking the Twisted Cat Lara skin that I use frequently, and then I'm clicking the Alice skin overlay. So that doesn't work. So for example, I would have to click the Lara skin and then go to the next category of mouth crease and pick, you know, something else, and those two would be able to work. A next essential that I would love to mention is skin overlays. For skin overlays, there are default and non-default skins. So basically a default skin is a skin that replaces or overrides the skin texture or appearance of all Sims Sims in your game. So once you place a default skin in your mods folder, all Sims will use that default skin instead of the original Sims for Max's one. So even without any, I guess, overlays, my sim looks different. A non-default skin is a skin that will not automatically replace the Sims 4 Max's original skin. You have to like manually apply a non-default skin to a sim. So basically only the Sims you edit to have the non-default skin will appear different in your game. So for example, here I have the twisted cat glass skin on my sim, and if I remove it, that's what my sim looks like. And then if I add it on, as you can see, there's a change to my sim's appearance, and it creates like a different texture to my sim's skin, which I like. So I really like this one, the one by Twisted Cat glass skin, but I also love the fawn skin and the Lara skin by Twisted Cat too. So generally you can have multiple non-defaults and use them independent of one another, while you can only have like one default skin replacement at a time in your game. But you can use a default skin and a non-default skin together. So I have a default skin in my game, I will leave linked, but as you can see, I'm using the non-default skin overlay here, the Twisted Cat glass skin, and then I can also go ahead and layer them too. Like, I'm sorry if this is super complicated for any of you beginners out there, and I hope I'm doing my best explaining it, but as you can see here, I have a non-default skin, a skin overlay in the forehead crease section, so I have that applied, and then in the freckles section, I can go ahead and add the Lara skin as well, and you see that changed the body skin of my sim. So I can apply both at the same time. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but essentially you can do that. Yeah, so here in the skin details, you can have nose shaders, you can have different, I guess, shaders for the structure of the face, for example. You can have even like folds to the face to make sims look older, different lip colors within skin details as well, or even different like face kits. This one I like from Pixis is a face kit, and it adds different like shading to your sims faces. It can add here, as you can see, shading to the nose. It can give different shading to the nostrils, which is cool. And then this one from Cosmetic gives your sims like teeth, like it makes your sims lips a little thinner to reveal some teeth, which is pretty cool. And even eye bags, you can add different eye bags or even highlights to the face. I know that my explanation of some of my essentials was kind of short, but if you want me to do a deep dive into absolutely everything that I use, all my sliders, all my presets, everything, just let me know if you'd be interested in a video like that. But that's all I have for today's video. I hope this guide helped you get started with downloading and installing mods for The Sims 4. Let me know in the comments like what mods you love using and if you found this video helpful at all. I definitely will be posting more in the new year of 2025. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.